Now this experience, bro, this was a life-changing experience for me at a young age. I think I was like maybe 20, 22, 23, something like that. And was able to experience a tryout with the Buffalo Bills. But the way it all started, all my life has been sports, football, basketball, baseball, and singing with my partners, doing stuff like the Temptations and different groups. We had a little five-piece group. But I always say, I wish I would have picked up a skill, like carpentry or doing stuff with my hands. All I do with my hands is beat on stuff, so that turned out to be a plus, music-wise. But anyway, this journey started, me and my daddy was sitting in the front room in his bedroom, and we was watching the Super Bowl this year. And because I had this experience when I went to Tennessee State, it was a different type of experience leaving out of high school and going to college. Because in high school, if you was good at what you did, the coaches respected that. They dealt with us with respect, never cursed us out or got mad and, used vulgar language to, so say, make us jump and stuff. They never did that. They showed us love, made us feel like, you got a skill and you're good at it. The thing now is to get better at it. So that was always my thing, getting better at what I did when it came to sports. But anyway, me and my daddy was sitting in the bedroom looking at the Super Bowl game this year. And because I was a defensive back in college and had learned the so-say tricks of the trade, learned the skill, learned the fundamentals, how to do things the right way. The way I looked at the games now, everything changed. I was really looking at my position being a defensive back. And we watching the Super Bowl, and I was seeing passes being caught, and I said, Lord, if I was out there, I know I could have stopped that. I would have stopped that. I was just that kind of player. But anyway, after the game, I went outside and sat on the steps, and I started thinking. I said, you know what? I can still play, because I had the skills and everything. I was still pretty much in shape. I said, I can still play. I can play some pro ball if I put my mind to it. But anyway, something told me, why don't you just sit down and write a letter and send it out to a few teams, see if you get a response. So I said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I went inside and started writing a letter, asking them, would it be okay if I come and try out for the team? I played at Tennessee State, defensive back, and I'm just looking for a chance. I just want a chance, an opportunity to play. So I did my little letter, and I put copies of the letter in 6 different envelopes, and I mailed them out to 6 different teams. And I waited, and about a month later, I got a return letter from Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills. So I said, oh man, here we go. So I took the letter, I opened the letter, and I read it. And the way the letter was written, it was like they didn't tell me don't come, but they didn't tell me come, It seemed like they put the choice in my ballpark. So I said, well, they ain't saying don't come. I'm going to go up there anyway. Maybe something will happen, So I said, I know what I'm going to do. I waited a couple days to let it sink in my mind. I said, I'm going to just have to get to Buffalo. Well, I ain't had no money, but I say, you know what? Back then, hitchhiking was cool. You can catch a ride hitchhiking, wasn't no problem. And I already knew the best place to get a ride if you was going to go a long distance was to hook up with one of them truck drivers, because they hit the highway and they be rolling. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. Nearest truck stop was in Mobile, Alabama. and not Mobile, Alabama, Mississippi, Mobile, Mississippi. So I put me a few things in a little paper bag. I had me a little suitcase. I had a few pair of shoes, but I had a pair of old All-Stars that I wore. That was the only pair of tennis I had. So I took that stuff. I went across the street by my partner. I said, bro, you going to trip out, bro, but I need you to do me a favor. I said, what's up, D? What you got going on now? I said, bro, I'm going to go try out for the Buffalo Bills, bro. He said, man, you crazy, man. You tripping. I said, no, bro, I'm serious, bro. I said, I need you to do something for me. What's that? I said, drive me to Mobile. It's Mobile, Alabama. I said, drive me to Mobile and by the truck stop so I can catch a ride with one of them truckers. Maybe I can go straight to New York with a trucker. He said, man, you tripping, man. I said, nah, bro, come on, bro, do this for me. All right, bro. So I said, I got my stuff ready already. So I went outside, waited for him. He got the car, and he said, you serious, bro? I said, yeah, man, come on, bro. All right, we took off. Going down the highway, he talking, trying to discourage me. You always gonna get that. He said, bro, man, you can't go do that, bro. I said, man, they sent me a letter, bro. Read the letter. Had the letter with me and everything. So we get to Mobile at the truck stop, one of them A1 truck stops, TA or something like that. But anyway, I said, bro, here we go. He said, man, you tripping, bro. I said, well, if anything go down and I need to come back, I'll just hit you up. You just come pick me back up. You know, he said, all right, bro. So he left. So I'm standing at the truck stop. I'm looking around, all the truckers filling up with gas and doing their thing. I said, I'll just hang out here until and check with them when they come out, you know. And one guy came out, and I talked to him. I said, bro, which way you going? You know, he said, you know, I'm going to get on the highway. I'm going so far. I told him what I was trying to do. He said, I'm not going that far, but I can get you a good little ways up the highway. I said, all right, bro, that'd be cool. So once I got in that truck, I knew it was on. It was time to go. So we get in the truck, we start talking and stuff. We drove a little piece. I think he got me close to almost into Tennessee. And dropped me off on the highway. He got off the exit, dropped me off. And I said, I'm going to just get back on the highway and hitchhike the rest of the way. So I did my hitchhiking little ordeal. I got picked up. 2 chicks picked me up, brought me a little ways. I told them what I was doing. They was all excited and stuff. And they took me a little ways. They dropped me off. And I think we passed through Nashville and stuff. I wanted to stop, but I said, no, I ain't going to let nothing deter me. I'm going to stay on this highway. So I got back on the highway. This old man was coming. I was hitchhiking. He was coming down the highway in one of them old 56 Chevys or something like that. And he pulled over. He said, what you doing out here? I told him what was happening. I said, I'm on my way trying to get to Buffalo, New York. He said, boy, you know where you at? I said, what you mean? He said, boy, they'll pick you up off this highway and take you somewhere nobody never know where you at. You'll be a missing person. He was an old man, you know. I said, for real? But he just didn't know, bro. I was dangerous, bro. I was prepared for somebody trying to think they're going to just, you know what I'm saying, trip me up and use me any kind of way. I was ready. I was down for that. I said, man, if something like that was to happen, bro, I have to flip the script on them. I have the car and they'll be hitchhiking. I just take I say, I get where I'm going. So he said, well, he talked for a little while. I didn't ride with him long. He said, well, I hope you luck, man. I pray for you. I said, all right, I appreciate it. So I got out the car with him. Kept going, walking down the highway with the thumb out, trying to catch a ride. All of a sudden, a station wagon pulled over. And when I walked up to the car, it was a priest. Where you going? Had his little priest outfit on. I told him the story and stuff. So he drove, it was nighttime now. So he drove me a little way and he said, you know what? I've been driving for a while. I'm pretty tired. He said, would you mind if we get a hotel? I looked at him And the first thing come to my mind, I said, I hope this dude ain't gay, thinking, you know what I'm saying? We gonna get a hotel now and he gonna start freaking out. But I said, he a priest, you know, but that didn't mean nothing, because priest was molesting people. It wasn't out, but I knew something was up with him. He just seemed weird, you know. I said, well, that'll be all right, bro. So we get to the hotel, check in. Just so happened it was a 2-bed, you know. So we got in there, got in the bed. He got in one bed, I got in another bed. But I couldn't sleep because I was just, mine wouldn't let me sleep. But I was able to lay back, you know, and chill out and stuff. But he got up the next morning. We ate breakfast. He bought breakfast. Got back on the highway, rode out. It was like, it took me 6 days and 7 rides to get to Buffalo, New York. And I had no money in my pocket, bro. I was broke. But anyway, I got back on the highway, and the last ride I got was another truck driver. And he said, he pulled on side of guy, he said, how far you going? I said, I'm trying to get to Buffalo, New York. He said, well, see, that's good. He said, I'm going straight through Buffalo. I said, really? I knew that was it. I was gonna make it there. So we talked, we laughed, we talked, and finally we got to Buffalo, and he knew the area. He said, this will probably be your best. He said, where you want me to drop you off? I said, what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna try to get in touch with my homeboy at the time. He was with the Buffalo Bills, Danver Robinson. He was a middle linebacker, played with him. And I said, if I can get to the Greyhound bus station, because I knew I can sit in there till daybreak, and then I'll try to give Isaiah a call to see what was going on, let him know I was in town and see what we can hook up. So he said, yeah, I'm pass right through Buffalo. He said, so what I'll do, I'll just drop you off at the interstate, and you just have to get off the interstate and walk in town. So I said, well, that's cool, man. I know I'm there, I'm here. So he pulled on the side, I got out the truck, and you can see the main street from off the highway. So I walked off the exit, crossed the highway, got on the main street, going down, into town. And I can see at the distance, the Greyhound bus station, the dog. It was lit up. You can see it. This was the Greyhound. I said, there's a Greyhound bus station down there. I'm going to just walk down there, sit in there until daybreak, and then I'll try to start making some phone calls. So I start walking down the street, bro, looking around. It's all lit up and everything. And I passed the police station, big old brick. You could tell it was an old building, but it said police station. NY police station. And I just looked up at it and looked at the building. So I kept walking to get to the Greyhound bus station. Well, the police station was like in the middle of the block. So as I passed the bus station, it was a car, came zooming down the street, man, and turned right at the corner, going down the street. And it was like 3-4 seconds later, here come a Volkswagen Bug, like it was chasing the car, and it came and cut in front of me, and I heard pow, 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 pow. I said, oh Lord, I'm in New York now. I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm gonna have to figure this out. And quick in my mind, something told me, go to the police station. So I said, yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I turned around and went in the police station, and it was like, when you walk in the door, it's like this, like a little hall. And at the head of the hall was a desk where the police was sitting at the desk, like a nighttime, receptionist. And so I walked in, and they had a row of seats on one side. So I was tired because I hadn't really slept in them 6 days. So I said, man, I'm gonna sit here for a little while. I figured he would come and ask me what I'm doing or whatever, but he never did. But just so happened, they was changing shifts. He was leaving, and a brother came and took over his position, his spot. And so he didn't say nothing. I was sitting there, and I start ducking like this because I'll start falling asleep. And I look at him, and he was sitting there, and I start ducking. Next thing, it felt like I had fell asleep for a few minutes. And when I raised up and looked at him, he was doing the same thing, sitting behind the desk. He was ducking. And when I looked at him, he raised up and looked at me, and we both bust out laughing. We started crying. We was laughing at each other. I said, boy, we both the same boy. You need rest too. And we started the conversation. So I picked up my bag and moved up by the desk, and we started talking and stuff. And I told him what was going on. You know, I said, I'm a trial for the Buffalo Bills football team. And he said, well, what's your plans? I said, well, I was just going to go down to the Greyhound bus station and chill till in the morning and try to get in touch with my homeboy to let him know I was in town and I ain't had nowhere to go. I ain't know nobody. I said, so maybe he can help me get myself situated. So he said, well, that sounds good. He said, so I said, I was going to go sit in the bus station. I said, but when I was walking toward the corner, a car was chasing another car, and they fired shots. I said, and something told me to turn around and come in here. Well, he started laughing at that. I said, well, that let me know I was in New York. I mean, that song, that Stevie Wonder song came to my mind. A boy's born in Halltown, Mississippi. You know that? Living just enough for the city. I said, nah, I'm not going to get involved in that stuff. So we talk. Next thing, daybreak. You can see the sun was coming out. And so he said, well, he was just working a short shift, like a few hours. Then another dude came and took his place. So then he went and did his thing, and I thought that was it. But he went and got his bag and stuff and came back out. He said, so, bro, what's your plans? What you plan on doing? You going to go to the Greyhound bus station? I said, well, that's all I can do, really. He said, well, you say you've been on the highway for 6 days, and you ain't been sleeping, you ain't eating. I said, nah, I ain't been able to eat. I said, I just got 4 pennies in my pocket. I think I had about 6 cents in my pocket. He said, well, I don't live far from here. You know, we have to catch the bus, but, you know, you can come hang out with me and you can use my phone, you know, and make your calls and stuff. So then again, my mind flipped. Now, I wonder if he gay. You know what I'm saying? That's just how my mind was working. But coming to find out, he was a straight-up dude, played baseball, was recognized in Buffalo, New York as a baseball player. Everybody knew him. He was that kind of dude. So he was just being kind, bro. So I appreciated that, bro. I said, bro, that'll be all right. I said, I'll do that. And he said, well, let's go catch the bus. So we went out there and waited for a few minutes, got on the bus, riding the bus through the city and through the town. Then we got in the little, you can tell it was a neighborhood area. Like, he lived in that area. I didn't know what was going on. But anyway, we got off the bus and we started walking toward his house. And they had this little restaurant, little neighborhood restaurant right in the middle of the block. I didn't know it then, but his house was right around the corner from the restaurant. And he said, let's go in here. You hungry? You want something to eat? I said, yeah, bro, that'll be cool. We walked in the door. Oh, here he come, the lady behind the bar. She knew him, you know. He frequented the restaurant on a regular basis because he lived right around the corner. And they started talking. And he said, that's Danver. He here to try for the Buffalo Bills. She said, what? He said, yeah, I thought I'd bring him in here and let you hook him up with something good to eat. She said, oh, baby, don't worry about it. She said, I'll take care of him. She went in the back and did her thing, bro, come back out with a big old thing of grits, egg, bacon, sausage, biscuits. I looked at that boy, I said, man. And I said, bro, I ain't got no money. He said, man, go ahead and eat, man. Don't worry about no money. Boy, I threw down, bro. I was full as a tick, bro. So the lady said, I wish you luck. I said, thank you, babe. She said, You come stop by anytime you want. I'll be in here. I said, all right. And they said goodbye to each other. Well, right next to the restaurant was a little neighborhood grocery store. So he said, let me step in here for right quick. So he went in the grocery store. I stayed outside. He come back out with 3 quarts of Genesee, that beer, and he bought 2 packs of Pall Mall cigarettes. That's what he smoked, Pall Malls. And so he come out, he said, I just live right around the corner. I said, really? So I was starting to feel comfortable with him now. So we walk around the corner, right off the corner was his house, big old 2-story house. And I look at it, I said, wow. I said, bro, it's a nice little crib, man. He said, well, I've been here for years. He said, my wife lived across the street. She lived in a big 2-story house across the street. I said, wow. I said, y'all ain't married? No, we divorced, but we stay close to each other. We got a son. I said, all right, bro, that's cool. So we get in the house, bro. He said, put your bags over there. And you can make your phone calls whenever you want. Got the phone for me. And I just sat there for a little while and was trying to take it in. I said, wow, man, this is cool as heck, bro. But I was always on guard that somebody might try to do something to me, It just was in my mind. But that wasn't the case, I was harboring that thought, but it wasn't the case. I was cool. I was with good people. So anyway, we get in the house, and I sat on the sofa, bro, and you can look right in the kitchen from where I was sitting, and he was sitting at the table, and he bust open one of them quarts of Genesee, and he started drinking. Fired him up a cigarette. He said, bro, you smoke? I said, yeah, I smoke from time to time. He said, you want one? I said, yeah, let me get one, bro. So he came in the living room. Bro, he said, you want a beer? I said, yeah, I drink a little beer. He went and got another one of them quarts. He said, whoosh, gave me the quart. I said, man, this all right, bro. I might stay here for a long time. But anyway, bro, we sit down, we talking and stuff. I was telling him about Tennessee State and stuff. I said, at Tennessee State, it took you into the realm of playing like a professional. That was our camp. That's how we practice 3 times a day. We break up for quarterbacks, doing things with the defensive backs. Defensive backs got to cover. They just ran a professional type football camp. So I learned a bunch of stuff while I was there. And he said he knew Isaiah and all that. He said, but them dudes don't come, around the first part of tryouts. They just bring the rookies in and let them start getting acquainted with the program and stuff like that. But the veterans, they could come later. They already established. They come and they start doing their thing. But anyway, it was time for the newcomers, the rookies, the walk-ons and all that stuff. He said, so you want to try to see if you can get in touch with somebody? I said, yeah, that'll be cool. So he said he'd get the number. He got the number to the stadium, and he made the phone call. Now, we had to sit down, and I knocked that quart out. I had to smoke like about 3 cigarettes already because I started feeling relaxed. I was full. I was chilling, and he got on the phone, and it rang a little while. Finally, somebody answered it. Hello, Buffalo Bills, can I help? Just so happened, it was the defensive coach, the defensive back coach that answered the phone. He just happened to be there at the time. So Pat told him what was going on. See, I got a young man here. He just hitchhiked up here from New Orleans, and he said he was coming to try for the team. He got a letter, and I read the letter. He said the way the letter was written, it didn't say don't come, and it didn't say come, but it was like they appreciate you considering the team type letter. So I said, he just decided to come. He said, so the dude said, well, is he there with you? He said, yeah, he's sitting right here. So he said, well, can he come in now? And Pat said, you think you can go over there? You want to go over there and try to get there now? I said, yeah, bro, that's a contact right there. Because he told him I'm the defensive back coach. Well, that was my position. So I said, yeah, bro, let's go over there now. He said, all right. So it was about 10:30. No, it was about 10 something. And he said, all right. He said, well, can he get here by about 11:30? He said, yeah, I'll get him there. So he hung up the phone. I said, wow, bro, that's cool as heck, man. We started talking and laughing. He said, bro, that's unbelievable, bro, because you don't just catch them people like talking about it, you know. So he said, man, let me call my partner. He said, he's like a die-hard Buffalo Bill fan, you know. And his name was George Brinkley. And he said, let me call George, man, and let him know what's happening. He might want to come with us. So we had to go to the stadium, Rich Stadium. And he called George, bro. George said, he'll be here in a minute. He don't live too far from here either. All right, so we sitting down talking, chilling, bro. Knock on the door a little later. Doom, doom, doom. He opened the door. George walked in the door, and I could have swore, bro, it was Richard Pryor. Man, this dude looked just like Richard Pryor and come in the door cracking jokes. It had us rolling laughing, bro. And we sat there and Pat told him what was going on. He said, this little brother hitchhiked all the way up here from New Orleans, bro, to try out for the team. What? He said, man. He said, you serious, bro? I said, yeah, man, I'm trying to make it, bro. So we started getting comfortable with each other, you know. So George said, well, Pat said, I just talked to the coach. He said if we can get him there at it, because Pat didn't have a car at the time. He said, if we can get him there by 11:30, he said, he'll let him try out right now. George said, well, let's go. We went outside, jumped in the car, bro. George had we call it a triple red, you know, like you got triple right, them Fleetwood, them Broham Fleetwoods. It was a convertible, triple red outside, red seats, red carpet on the floor. It was beautiful, bro. And I said, oh man, this the big league right here. You know what I'm saying? George was an insurance salesman. And he was like an executive. He had an office downtown on the 15th floor. You can look out his picture window and see all downtown, bro, from up here. It was cool as heck, bro. But anyway, George said, man, let's go now. All right, let's go. So he said, what you need, bro? Well, I ain't had nothing but my old All-Stars on. He said, you gonna wear them? I said, yeah, that's all I got, bro, right now. He said, well, that's all right, bro. If you know what you're doing, you good to go. I said, man, I'm ready to go now. So it was all good, bro. But just so happened, the excitement kicked in, the adrenaline kicked in. I'm ready to perform, you know what I'm saying? But what I didn't realize was that I had just drank a quart of beer and smoked about 3 cigarettes. Hadn't slept in 6 days. So really, I wasn't prepared, but my adrenaline took over, and I'd say I can still pull it off, you know what I'm saying? So man, we jump in the car, bro. We riding down the highway, we talking and everything. George cracking jokes the whole way there, and it was just a good time, bro, you know? So we get to the stadium, bro, and work our way in the stadium. We was the only ones in there. And the coach had already told the trainer that I was coming. So when we got in, yeah, you Danver? Yeah, he said, well, come on, let me give you some shorts to put on, because I had on jeans. He gave me a pair of shorts, the T-shirt, property of the Buffalo Bills and stuff. I was ready, bruh. You know, so we walk out into the stadium, bruh. We was the only ones in the stadium. The whole big stadium was empty. We was the only ones in there. And George and Pat had took a seat up at the top of the bleachers up there, checking everything out, you know. So we walked out there. I talked to the coach. We talked for a little while. He said, let's try some drills. Let's try some drills. He said, let's do the, you know, they do it with it. He hold the ball and do like that. And that just means backpedal. And then if you turn the ball this side, they won't see you turn. They don't want to see you turn around and go that way. You backpedaling and you go like that. Backpedal, go to the side. So he made me do that a few times. He said, that's cool. Come on back up. He said, let's do it again. I said, cool. I was on everything he did. Moved the ball, backpedaling, and then he did it again. That's cool. He said, you look good. You move, your backpedaling is good and everything. He said, let's try one more. I said, all right, cool. So he said, took me out, made me do that. But then this time, he threw the ball. He sent me this way and threw the ball to that side to see how I was going to adjust, but I was on it. That was my skill. So I turned across, and he threw it way out where I had to go get it. And that's what I did. I went and got it. Boom! He said, that was very good, man. You look good. I said, thank you. He said, how you looking to 40? I said, I run pretty good, probably about a 4.7, 4.8. He said, oh, that's a good speed. He said, but you know, in the NFL, you got wide receivers running 4.1, 4 flats. He said, if you don't have good technique, they'll just run past you. He said, yeah. He said, well, let's run a few 40s, see what you look like. So he marked it off. He said, whenever you ready, had his time watch. And I'm pumping myself up. I said, I'm here now, baby, looking at the field. I'm ready. So I got down. He said, whenever you ready, boom, I took off. Boom. Came back. He said, well, that ain't bad. He said, that was a 4.7. I said, all right. He said, all right, let's do another one. Well, you know, each time you do that 40, well, he had done already made me run agilities. And each time you do it after that, of course, your tendency is you'll get a little slower. So he said, let's try another one. So I went down, whenever you're ready. I said, all right, I stretched a little bit, got down, boom, took off. Boom. He said, all right. He said, see, that was a 4.9. I said, I ain't never ran a 4.9 in my life. You know, it was always either 4.6 or 4.7. He said, well, that one was a little slow. He said, give me one more. Let's try one more. So I said, all right. I was walking back to the spot. I said, damn, man, I know I can do better than talking to myself, you know. He said, whenever you ready. I got down. I was exhausted by then, bro. I took off fighting it and stuff. He said, well, that was a 5 flat. He said, now I'm going to be honest with you. He said, I appreciate you doing what you did. That showed me that you got it in your heart. It's with you. He said, but you're too slow. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, like I told you earlier, we got wide receivers running 4.1. If you running a 5 flat, they'll just run past you and leave you, and that'll be a wrap, you know. I said, I understand, Coach. He said, well, I appreciate you coming out. It was good meeting you. You know, I can tell you got a good spirit about you. He said, but he said, I don't think, you know, we'll be able to use you. And but my heart went down to my foot, bro. I said, oh, man. You know, I was trying to deal with it in my mind, bro. I said, you wanted a tryout, you got a tryout, but you failed. And so I said, well, I said, thank you, Coach. You know, and I shook his hand, bro, and I started walking back to the thing. Pat and them was up there. I could see Pat head doing like this here. Like you said, they knew it wasn't working out too well. So I went back in the training room, took the shorts off and stuff, bro. I said, I ought to keep these shorts and T-shirts. You know, just to let people know, say, bro, this is where I was at, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't worth nothing. I said, nah, I don't need this stuff. So Pat and them had done already got in the car, and they was waiting for me in the parking lot. So I walked out to the car, bro, and they was sitting there, and it was weird, bro. They didn't tell me nothing. So then I started thinking, you know, they was talking to each other, but they wasn't acknowledging me sitting in the car with them like it was when we was on our way there. So I said, something going on now. You know, like they might try to double team me now. I was ready, but I was ready to take that coupe to Ville and head out. But I said, nah, I'm not going to jump the gun, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm going to just chill and let things be. So we drove all the way back home, brother. They didn't have nothing to tell me, nothing at all. So I was really feeling uncomfortable. We got out the car, went in the house. I sat on the sofa, George sit in front of me, and Pat pulled the chair up, and then so we all sitting in the front room, and they still was talking with each other, joking and stuff, but they wasn't acknowledging me like, man, you wasn't ready to play no football type vibe, the atmosphere. That's what I was thinking. But anyway, all of a sudden, bruh, Pat said, why you so quiet, man? I said, man, I'm just disappointed, man. He said, that's understandable, bruh. He said, you know what, man? He said, I was just thinking about something. What's that? He said, bruh, now, have you thought about this? He said, you said it took you 6 days to get here, right? I said, yeah. He said, then you get here, we went in the restaurant, you ate grits, bacon, sausage, and biscuits, drank coffee. After we left there, we got beer. You sat there, right there where you at, and drank a whole quart of beer and smoked cigarettes. And now you talking about going out there to try for a professional team. He said, bro, what was you thinking about? And I thought about it because I hadn't thought about it. My adrenaline had kicked in. I knew I could play. He said, so what was you thinking about, bro? He said, you ain't had no rest. You know what I'm saying? You went out there on a full stomach, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, and now you talking about going try for a team. He said, bro, I was watching you. He said, you look good, your techniques, you look good. He said, but that speed gonna play an important role in you them even considering you making that team. I say, yeah, you're right, man. I say, I didn't even consider that, Pat. He said, bruh, that's all I got to say, bruh. He said, but I tell you what. He said, I bet the coach don't know that because we didn't tell him all of that. He said, and he didn't know that. He said, what you probably need to do, bruh, is get you some rest. He's saying if you was to rest and have your little regiment that you do, say you might need a couple weeks before you in any kind of shape to go try for a professional team. So I sat there, I thought about that. I said, yeah, man, you right, bro. I said, I didn't even think about that. And George started telling jokes again. So it was like we was back where we was at once that got out in the open. So they started talking, and Pat said, you know what? He said, George, why don't you call Booker? Booker was a defensive back for him for like 3 years. He wasn't playing no more. But he said, Booker might be able to talk to the coach to let him know your true situation, and maybe they'll have you come back after you done rest, and you know what I'm saying? You'd be more ready. So he got on the phone, he called Booker. He told Booker what was going on. Booker come to the house. He walked in the house and he said, we met and everything. We all sitting in the living room. And the first thing Booker said, he said, well, bro, would you run a 40-yard dash in? The first thing come out of his mouth to me. And I said, man, I didn't do too good today. I said, usually I run like a 4.7 or something like that. He said, well, guess what, bro? I played 3 years and I ran a 4.9. He said, I ain't never ran a 4.7. But he was real, thick. He said, so, bro, you can do better. I can tell you probably can do better on your 40-yard dash. If you concentrate on that, everything else will fall in play. That's what they're looking for, people with speed. I said, all right, I understand, bro. He said, let me make a phone call and talk to some people and see what we can do. In the meantime, bro, get you some rest and get ready because it stands to reason they might give you a second tryout. So I just thought it was impossible after that first round. So I said, well, that's all I can do now, bro. So that night, Pat had to go back to work. So he said, bro, just get you some rest. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about nothing. We got you. All right, cool. So I started feeling comfortable, you know what I'm saying? So that morning, bro, I finally went to sleep. That morning, Pat came back in the house, opened the door, pushing a bike. I thought it was his bike. He rode to work or whatever because he didn't have his car at the time. Pushed the bike in, had another bag with him, rode the bike in, parked it in the front, put the bag on the handlebars. He went in the kitchen, had his beer. Whoosh. You want one? I say, nah, bro, I'm good. I say, I'm going to chill, bro, and try to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to refrain, bro. You want a cigarette? I say, nah, bro, I'm good. I say, bro, if I get another chance, bro, I'm going to take care of business, bro. He said, all right, that's what I like to hear, bro. You ain't going to just give up like talking about it. I said, nah, bro. So he went in the kitchen, popped open his beer. He did this every morning, every day. Started smoking his cigarette, and he was just looking at me, sitting at the kitchen table. And he said, you see that bike? I said, yeah, bro, that's a nice bike, man. He said, that's for you. I said, what? He said, I got that bike for you. He said, and in that bag, I got you some shoes, some nice tennis. He said, bro, you can't go try out for no protein wearing them old raggedy All-Stars you got on, bro. I said, yeah, I didn't even think about all that, bro. It had holes in the bottom, bro. I had paper bag in the bottom, so, you know. He said, so them shoes for you, bro. Try them on, see if they fit. They fit like a glove, bro. I said, man, you got this bike for me, bro? He said, that's your bike. He said, because what we gonna do, we gonna start working out. He said, we gonna set a goal. Until we hear something back from him, it's like they was expecting they was gonna contact me to come back and try out again. He said, we gonna work out. He said, and we gonna do it 3 times a day. We gonna do it in the morning when I get off from work and I come home. We gonna head out to the little park they had up the street, about 4 blocks from the house. He said, we gonna do all our workout up there at this little park. I said, well, that's cool, bro. I said, I'm willing to do that. He said, all right, you ain't got no choice. I said, all right, bro, it's cool. So he said, we'll start tomorrow. So I was able to rest, just chill that whole day, bro. I must have looked at that bike, bro, the whole day. I said, damn, this dude hooking me up, bro. So, bro, that next morning came, Pat got off of work. He said, you ready? It was like about 6:30, something like that. I said, yeah, I'm ready. He put on some shorts, put on my tennis, got the bike, pushing the bike, got down to the park. They had just like put a brand new blacktop. It was like a little semi-track field, but it was nice. People use it to walk and stuff like that. So, but we get down to the spot, bro, and he said, all right, here's what I want you to do. He said, I want you to pedal the bike, get a feel for it, see how your legs feel. He said, just take a lap around. Don't worry about no speed or nothing. Just cruise around, feel the bike out. He's saying, take that 1 lap around. But when you get back to this spot, he said, I want you to give it all you got. I want you pumping that bike full force around the track. I want 4 laps. I looked at Pat. Man, that's a piece of cake, bro. I done rested and stuff thinking I'm good to go. I got on that bike, bro. I cruised around the track, getting my mind right. I said, man, this is all right, bro. I said, I'm going to deal with them if they call me back. And I cruised around, and when I got back, he said, all right, take off. And I took off, bro. I started hitting it, bro. Man, I got like halfway around the track. My thigh started tightening up on me. By the time I got back with Pat, bro, I was like, I could barely pedal the bike, bro. My legs was tired, my thighs was hurting and stuff. He said, you see that? You know what that tell me? He said, bro, you ain't in shape. Well, I hadn't been doing nothing really, even before I decided to make this move. Because I left Tennessee State like in '75, and I hadn't did nothing. I hadn't ran, I hadn't exercised, I hadn't did no weights, I hadn't done nothing. I was just going off pure adrenaline and knowing I had the ability to deal with that. But anyway, bro, he said, that's your problem right now, bro. You just ain't in shape. He said, but don't worry about it. He said, come on, let's go back to the house. So we walking back to the house. We talking and stuff. He said, Well, at 12 o'clock, we're going to go back out again, bro. I said, all right. Walked back down to the park, bro, got out there, and he said the same thing. Just get your cruise lap, get yourself together, get your mind together. And when you get back here, I want you pumping. And so I did my cruise, bro. I got right to the spot, and I took off. I started digging it again, brother. Same thing happened, man. My thighs tightened up on me. He ain't say nothing. He said, well, you can't do it. He said, let's head back to the house. You know, he said, later on this evening, we're going to roll again. Same thing that day. I couldn't even finish a lap. The next day, bro, I was so sore and tight and stuff, bro. And I talked to him about it. He said, bro, you know you done lift weights and all that. You know how that soreness is going to hit you. He said, but, bro, you got to fight through that stuff, bro. I said, yeah, you right, bro. So we did the same thing, bro. That day was the same thing. But by that lunchtime, I started feeling my legs was kind of breaking that stiffness and stuff a little bit. I was able to do not a whole lap, but I get to the 220 mark, and that next little half, that's the far as I was able to go. But I realized I was able to add that little extra part. So by that evening of the second day, I started feeling it. I started feeling the strength coming back in my legs, holding that handlebar and pumping. And I managed to do one lap. He said, now that's what I'm talking about. He said, but I want you to do 4 laps like that. I said, wow, but I can tell I was starting to get strong again. So I said, hey, bro, this is working out, bro. So by the third day, we went out. I was able to do 2 laps, just full blast. Boom, boom. He said, you see, you're getting your strength back. That's what you need. Man, by that 4th day, piece of cake. I was tearing up. I was pumping it, bro. Going around that track, boom, boom. And just the 4th day I was out there, they had like a couple people had started coming sitting on the bleachers, just checking it out. Like I was the only one out there doing something. They was just sitting out there checking me out. So by about the 5th day, I did 5 laps. I passed the 4th. Keep going. I kept going. Did 5 laps. That evening, I did 5 more laps. By that night, I did 6 laps. I had then got to the point where I can do 8 laps, full blast, woo, woo. By this time, the people that was sitting out there was like they was talking. More people started coming out there, sitting on the bleachers, just checking me out, you know. So that was like inspiration to me, bro. I wanted them to see, bro, I'm serious. I'm doing this thing. And Pat was talking to him and telling him why I was doing what I was doing. And by that, oh man, by the 7th, 8th day, I was doing like 6, 7 laps, full blast, round the track. And that evening, he said, well, bro, now you need to rest. I want you to rest this afternoon. We're not gonna do nothing. Just take the time and chill. Well, how I do, like when I go to a place and I'm in a new environment, I like to walk around and check things out and see what landmarks I can remember that's close to the house and all that kind of stuff. So this particular day, evening, I said, I'm gonna put my clothes on and walk around and check out, get acquainted with the neighborhood and stuff like that. And I was walking on the street, up the street, and I noticed across the street they had like a neighborhood newspaper company, the Buffalo Challenger. It just did news for the neighborhood to inform people about stuff that's happening in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And something told me, man, if I can go in here and talk to somebody, maybe they might want to do a story on me, and that might help them decide to give me another try. My mind just was working like, I said, I'm gonna stop in here and talk to somebody and see what's up. So I walked in there and the lady was sitting at the desk, can I help you? I said, yes, ma'am. I told her my name and stuff. I told her what I just experienced. I hitchhiked up here from New Orleans and tried out for the team. I said, but it didn't work out too well. They said I was too slow. But under the circumstances, I've been able to rest, and I've been working out, and I feel strong again, and I'm just hoping I can get another tryout pretty much. And she said, that'll make a good story. She said, why don't you come back later on this evening, and I have a reporter that you can talk to, tell your story, and maybe they'll do a section for you in the paper, and maybe it'll get in the hands of the people at the Buffalo Bill camp. I said, that'll be great. So that evening, I went back over there, and the reporter, we talked, and I told her my story and stuff. And so this was like on a Tuesday. The next day went by. The paper comes out on Thursdays. Every Thursday of the week, the new paper comes out. I didn't know, but that's how they rolled. And that Thursday morning, when we was on our way to the track, they had people that had already read the paper. So now they knew who I was and what I was why I was trying to do what I was doing. And man, this was the evening practice we was doing around the track. We got out to the park, man, and the bleachers was like, they come out there to see a show, you know what I'm saying? They had people piled up on the bleachers now, just to check me out, because now they had read the story and who I was and what I was trying to do. And man, I was doing 8 laps. They was applauding. They was applauding, bro. That was making me feel good, bro. They were saying, yeah, let's get it. You gonna get that tryout, get it, Danver, get it. I said, man, this something. After we finished working out, they would follow us while we walking back to the house. They'll follow us, bro. It was like the next morning, that next day, like it was like a Saturday. We went outside to go to the track. People was hanging out on the corner, bro, waiting for us to come out the house, because they knew Pat, they knew where he stayed, and they was waiting on the corner. Followed us to the park. It was like we had a little crowd, like we had a parade or something, bro. It was a trip, man. But anyway, that workout went down. So we sitting at the house, Pat get a call. The mayor was a friend of his, from the mayor of Buffalo at the time, called Pat to talk to Pat. He had read the story. He said, we should be able to do something, talk to these people and give him another chance. Come to find out, bruh, the coach called Pat. It just worked like clockwork. Coach got on the phone, talked to Pat, told him, he said, I didn't know anything about what all he went through and stuff. He said, but Pat said, well, he didn't have time to rest, and we've been working out every day, 3 times a day, and he really looking good. He said, well, I'll tell you what, if you can get him back here around 11:30, I'll look at him again. Man, my heart just went for joy, bro. My head started feeling, you know what I'm saying? I started feeling good, bro, because now I had to rest. I was working out. I was resting. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't smoking. I had to free myself from that. Man, we get out to the stadium. Same routine. George pull up, walk in the door, rah, 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 cracking jokes and stuff. And we all laughing, and he said, boy, he said, you think you're ready now? I said, bro, if I don't do it this time, you know that's going to be a wrap. He said, well, let's hope you take care of business. Well, this time, Pat brought his stopwatch. They went back up in the stadium. Coach was out there waiting for me and stuff. We get back out there. He said, how you feel, bro? I said, I feel pretty good. He had done read the story and everything. He said, well, I tell you what. He said, since the last time you did the slow 40s, he said, why don't we do that first? Let me see where you're at with your 40-yard dash. I said, all right. I was feeling wonderful. He said, whenever you're ready, marked off the 40. I got down. I said, Lord, just be with me. Boom, I took off. Whoop, 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 boom. Came back. Coach looked at me. He said, that was pretty good. I said, what was that, Coach? He said, that was a 4.3. I said, what? I said, man, I ain't said it to him. I said, 4.3? I ain't never ran a 4.3 in my life. He said, now that was a 40. I said, wow. He said, give me another one. I said, all right, boy, I'm ready to run a 4-1 now. He said, whenever you ready, he kept saying that. I got down, but I said, I'm gonna do this, man. Doom, took off. He looked and said, that's what I'm talking about. He said, that was a 4-5. I said, wow, boy, I ain't never ran a 4-5 before. Got back, he said, give me one more. I said, all right, I'm ready. Doom, 4-7. He said, now that's how it works. He said, if you keep running them, of course your body gonna start tightening up and you're gonna get slow. He said, but that 4-3 is the icing on the cake for me. He said, let's try some of them agilities, the same waving and backpedaling and crossing over and stuff. He did that 2 more times, and then he said, let's do it one more time. I said, all right, I felt good. You know, it was like everything was going fine. So he sent me back, sent me this way. I was anticipating him doing that, but he held up a little bit. He wanted me to keep going that way. Then he threw the ball way over there like he did last time. This time, bro, I made my turn. I took off, bro. I watched the ball, and I wasn't going to get to it in time, so I dove for it. And by me diving, I was right on point. The ball hit the center of my hand, and I felt the ball. And as I was coming down, I took the ball and put it in my hand like that to put my hand down to brace myself on my fall, but my thumb was under my hand like that. And when I hit the ground, boom, my thumb popped out. My thumb was like this. And I said, oh, Lord. I went back to the coach. I threw him the football. I said, look at here, coach. He said, oh, Lord, go and let the trainer. He said, that's good. You did good. Go let the trainer pop that back in place, and I'll come and talk to you a little later. All right, I felt good. I jogged back in, bro. Went to the trainer. The trainer said, man, you look pretty good. You know, I didn't even know he was watching. He said, you look pretty good. What's happened? I said, my thumb popped out of socket. I had all my fingers knocked out of place playing football. But anyway, he pulled it, popped it back in place, and he said, why don't you sit in this hot tub? You know, they had the big aluminum hot tub. He said, why don't you sit in there for a little while and just relax, let your muscles relax, keep your hand under the water. And I'm sitting in the tub, bro. I'm saying, yeah, this is what it's all about, bro. All the lockers and stuff with the veterans' names on them and stuff, bro. And I'm sitting there. I say, I'm here now. Everything is good, man. Talking to myself, you know. And I'm sitting there. He said, how you feel? He came back. I said, I feel pretty good. Let me see that hand. Showed it to him. I was able to move it then. He said, just go ahead and get dressed. That's what he told me. He said, just go ahead and get dressed, get your clothes on. And the coach said he wanted to see you upstairs. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, he want to meet you upstairs. So I said, I wonder what this is going to be about. So I dried off, put my clothes on and stuff, and I walked out in the hall and got on the elevator, went upstairs. When I walked off the elevator, the receptionist was sitting at her desk, and she said, you Danver? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, they want to see you in that office right across from the elevator. I said, okay, thank you. And I knocked on the door, and he said, come in. And when I opened the door and pushed the door open, they was sitting in the office right in the middle of the field where you can look down on the whole field. This was the head coach office where they sat. And I walked in there and I seen that. I said, wow. He said, it's nice, ain't it? I said, yeah, this is a beautiful stadium, man. So when I walked in the office, Shell was a running back coach. He played with the New York Jets. He was a running back. He was in the office. The defensive back coach was in the office. Coach Knox was in the office, the head coach. And another dude was the defensive back coach. He was in there. It was 4 of them in the office when I walked in. And coach said, have a seat. So I sat down. I knew Shell. I didn't never meet him, but I watched him growing up playing football. I knew who he was. And the coach said, he said, you look pretty good. He said, we've been watching you. He said, you look pretty good. Your agilities look good and everything. I said, well, thank you, you know. And just out the blue, bro, he said, well, what we going to do, we're going to offer you a contract. I said, what? He said, yeah, we're going to offer you a contract. We're going to let you try out and see how you do things. So he pulled out his envelope. He said, it's the contract. It's going to be a 3-year contract for $33,000 a year. Now, I was working at a restaurant for $4-something an hour. That was big money for me, bruh. I said, man, I'm here. Thank you, Lord, I'm here. And he said, you think that sound good? I said, that's all right with me. He said, well, just say he had 3 sets. He said, well, just sign each set, and then we see you when camp start. I signed the contract, gave him a manila envelope. I put he said, that's your copy. Put my copy in. And he said, well, we'll see you, in August. Before August, it was like the last 2 weeks of July, June, July, August, last 2 weeks of July. He said, when we start camp, we'll give you a call and everything, and all you gotta do is come in, because we're gonna start our camp for rookies and stuff like that, walk-ons. I said, oh man, I said, thank you very much, Coach. I shook their hands. He said, just keep up the good work. I said, I will. I'll keep working out, I will. I walked out the office, bruh. Man, I felt like I was on top of the world, bruh. That secretary seen me when I walked out the office. She said, good luck. Like they had already told her about I was coming up there. She read the story too. The story had got out in that Buffalo area. So, man, I got on the elevator, bruh. And I stood there, bro, pressed my button to go down, bro. And when that elevator door closed like that, boom. I was like, yeah, ooh-wee. I was in that elevator jumping up and down. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, bro. Pull that contract. Damn, I got my contract. $33,000 for 3 years. Woo, I had to know, right? I said, that's $90-some thousand, man. Wow, but I said, my mama gonna be proud, bro. She gonna be glad. I said, I'm gonna be in the pros. But on that elevator door, and I was like, yeah. All cool walking off the elevator and stuff. I got outside, bro. Patton was sitting in the parking lot waiting for me to come out. George had to put the top down, bro. And I walked out to the thing, and I gave Pat the envelope. I was playing it off. I said, here, bro, check this out, man. He said, don't tell me they said you can't do it. He said, I timed you 40. You ran a 4.3, a 4.5, and a 4.7. I said, yeah, I did. He said, what's this? I said, check it out. Pat, look at that, pull that contract out, bro, and read that contract. He said, boy, you made it. I said, I made it, didn't I? Boy, we went to laughing and talking, bro. Pat stopped at the little store, got us a quart of Genesee. We went right back to drinking it and smoking. Just excited, bro. All part of the excitement. But anyway, bro, that time came. They dropped me off at camp. We did our practice at the University of Niagara Falls in Buffalo, New York. And we got there in camp, and just so happened they had another brother that was there that they drafted from Tennessee State. I never met him, but he was from Tennessee State. So they put us together as roommates. They give you your book with all your defensive plays and informations and coverages and all that, and you study your book. You have meetings, you discuss stuff with them, and they talk to you about different stuff. And that's what it consists of at first. Then we start going out. It was no pads, just, shorts and stuff, and we start doing our thing. So that went on probably for about a week, week and a half or whatever. And I called home and told my mama what was happening. Boss, I'm glad for you, Danver. You know how mamas is, bro. She made me feel good, bro. I felt good anyway. But she said, you know your wife getting ready to have a baby, right? I said, really? I said, no problem. I said, I'll be home. She said, she gonna be having it pretty soon, so you might want to try to come home, you know, so you can be there when your baby born. And I started thinking about it. Well, I mentioned it to the coach, and the coach said, you're not gonna be able to leave. I said, why not? He said, because now, like the military, you belong to us. You here to practice and get yourself together so you can play so we can play football. I said, but this my child, my wife getting ready to have a baby. I said, can't I just go home till the baby born or, you know, have a few days off? I said, no, we can't do that. So now that attitude started kicking in. What you mean, something like this, I can't go home? Why not? Well, I didn't go into no details with that, but my mind was starting to work and develop. I'm saying, you know, it can't be that bad if I just shoot home right quick for that. So that night, something just told me, catch a cab, go to the airport, fly out, get home, be home in time for your baby, then you can come back. I thought about it, bro. I shared it with my homeboy in the room. He said, bro, I don't think they want us to leave like that, bro. And we talked about it and stuff. I said, bro, I got to go back home, bro. He said, well, he said, it's on you, bro. That's what you feel you need to do. I said, bro, just don't say nothing to nobody, bro. If they ask you about it, I said, just don't say nothing. So I called the cab that night, bro. I said, I'm going to shoot home right quick, bro. They ain't going to eat. Maybe I can be back because my mama said she going to have the baby soon. I can be back before they even realize I'm gone. I did that. Called the cab, caught the cab, drove out to the airport, jumped on the plane, flew home. Get home, she hadn't already had the baby 3 days ago. I said, wow, I missed that. But at least I got home, seen her, seen the baby and everything. And I said, I'm going to have to get back. So I told him what was going on. I said, I'm going to have to go back. Jumped in the cab, got back to the airport, jumped on a plane, flew back to Buffalo, caught the cab, went back to camp. What just so happened, when I got back, they was already on the field. So I had to, they seen the cab drop me off. So I went up in my room, put my stuff up, put my clothes on, went down to the locker room, put my stuff on, went out to the field. Coach didn't say nothing to me about nothing. It was like, you know, you just was late. They don't even want you late to practice if you're right there anyway. So they ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing either. So I just went on and went through the practice and everything. And after that practice, it was the evening practice. After that practice, he said, the coach would like to see you in his office, Danver. I said, all right. So I was prepared to hear what he had to say or whatever. I got in the office and Coach Knox said, he said, Danver, he said, I can see that you would be a good athlete, a good part of our team. He said, you look good, you got good speed. He said, but we have rules that we try to follow here in camp. He said, and Coach mentioned to me about your situation, but he also told you that you wasn't allowed to leave the camp without our permission or whatever. You're just trying out. He said, once the rookies get here, they don't just leave when they want. You'll never develop like we're going to be trying to help you develop. He said, so I think we're going to have to let you go. That's what he said. And when he said that, bro, I looked at him. Something was telling me, let me go. Beg him. You know, if you got to get on your knees. My mind was telling me, if you got to get on your knees, bro, you here. Beg him and plead with him. please don't let me go. Under the circumstances, I just wanted to be home and support for my wife and my baby. And then something else came in my mind and said, you know what? You wanted to prove that you was capable of making this team. You did that. So you don't have to beg nobody about nothing for nothing. And I just sat back in the chair. I said, well, Coach, I understand. I said, I appreciate everything y'all did. You know, I thanked him and everything. I say, but can I get a football? He said, I wanted a Duke. He said, you want a football? He said, yeah, just go down to the trainer, tell him. I said, I like to have a few of the guys sign my football. He said, that'd be fine. He said, that's good. He said, just when you get your stuff together, get your ball signed. He said, just the receptionist got money for you, a check. It was like $2,700 for like a week. He said, you get your check, and he said, congratulate. He said, I wish you the best of luck, pretty much. And right there, bro, it was like, it wasn't no more big deal to me. You know, I did what I set out to do. I just didn't maintain. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can do anything you want to do, but once you do it, can you maintain it? From that point on, that's always been my thing, you know. So it was a good experience, but I'm thankful to God that I wasn't able to maintain it, because after the experience, I began to realize hanging around these dudes, making this kind of money, and hanging out with them, they'll take you places, go to parties with them, hanging out. I mean, I done been places with some of these dudes that I knew for a fact I was the poorest person amongst them. I knew that. Even though I had that $33,000 contract, these dudes had signed for like $100-some thousand a year, real deals. You know, I went with Joe Cribbs. He was drafted that year as a running back, first round. And we became friends. And he took me to the car dealership with him, bought a showroom car off the floor, paid cash for it, and we drove out to Niagara Falls. We stopped at the liquor store and got a pint of vodka, both of us a piece, and we went sit out there by Niagara Falls on the bench and sat out there and looked at the water, drank out. You know, we had the day off that evening, and that's what he did. So it was like you have the tendency to develop the kind of attitude like you're untouchable. You can do what you want because you're making money. Nobody ain't, so say, giving it to you, or you ain't begging nobody for it. Like it'll put you in another frame of mind. And like you gotta maintain that, especially if you're hanging out with these dudes, you know. And that wasn't me. I didn't want to feel that. So I was thankful for that, but that was my experience. It was the experience. Yeah. Mm-hmm.